Okay, Deb, you are good to go. Deb, you are good to go. I'm leaving. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hi, Todd.
Hi there. Thank you for making me your co-host.
You're welcome. So Todd, one of the things that is really beneficial along the way as I'm talking to learners, I mentioned the help@getsetup.io email address. Is that something that you would put in the chat for me when I do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And then if there are questions that come up in the chat, will you just break in and ask me to address those?
I will try my best to resolve them.
Or you don't have to resolve them. I mean, I know that those might be tech questions, but they might have content questions about what I'm talking about. And it's my understanding that one of the things that you'll do is kind of monitor that to see if there's anything.
Yeah, I will mention you in that questions.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, Eileen. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you today?
Good. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Where are you?
I'm in York, Pennsylvania. How about you?
Virginia, Fairfax, Virginia.
We're kind of close. Fairfax.
Yeah.
Are you having a cloudy, cool day?
Oh, it's pouring. Yeah. Rain all day.
Well, I wonder if that's heading north or south.
I do not know.
Out to sea.
Yeah, that would be good.
Good. We'll just give it a minute. We have a small group today, but
Oh, well, that's good.
we'll see whether we get a few more though. Have you taken other classes today?
I was just on an art class. I take something through OLLI, which is through a university, a local university.
I'm familiar.
And I've just been painting watercolor for the last 2 hours. So
well, that's relaxing.
I feel very relaxed.
So what brought you to this class?
Well, I want to do tutoring. So I thought maybe you have a couple of ideas for me.
Okay. All right, good. Then
Mhm.
I think I do.
Oh, great.
Grade or what ages?
Little ones, kindergarten, first grade.
Okay.
Reading.
Okay. Well, I'll stop and say hi to Donna. Hi,
Yeah.
Donna.
Hi.
How are you today?
Okay.
Can you turn on your camera? Do you mind or?
No, I do mind. I didn't even comb my hair today.
Okay, that's fine. We have those days, right?
Yeah.
And welcome back, Gail. There you are. Hello.
Hi,
Always nice to see you.
I'm
Gail's-
going to sit down this time.
You said what?
I said this time I'm going to totally understand anything.
Okay, okay. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm glad to have you all here, and we have a very intimate group, so we should be able to just ask questions and talk about what it is that you want to talk about. So Eileen, you've told me, so you would like to tutor children that are in kindergarten and first grade.
Yes.
You're looking for ideas there.
Yes.
And Gail, what about you?
I mentored a little girl on Zoom in first grade.
First grade, okay.
First.
Third grade, okay, very good. So that's again, smaller, younger children, that helps. And how about you, Donna? What brought you today? What would make this class successful for you?
Oh, I'm a retired teacher, and I was thinking of maybe getting an online job for teaching or tutoring. And
Okay,
I taught kindergarten and first grade for 18 years. And now I'm an advisor to a high school group.
okay, so you're thinking about tutoring high school or would be?
No,
younger-
no, it's an advisor for like
I mean-
service projects for their applications to college. You know,
Okay,
because you need to have a lot of that to get into a good one.
okay,
So what I'm thinking of is, early childhood, because that's
Okay.
it's my license.
all right. Great, and did you retire before COVID or after COVID?
Oh, see, before
Okay,
COVID.
so you haven't done a whole lot with online.
No, just Google Classroom to help out my granddaughter, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay, well, that's a little something. Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
you dipped your toe into it. Hey, Carol, welcome back. I see you have your addition to your wardrobe on today. Are you at school, at work?
Yeah, I'm at work. I'm here with Mary Ann. She's right here next to me. Yeah.
All right, great.
So we're
Hi,
masked,
everyone.
masked up.
Yep, so learning away. So you've been to this class before, I think.
Well, I've been to one of your classes, but it was reading to our children or,
Okay,
reading
so
to
you
our
were in
grandchildren.
this one. Okay, I remember you were in the read and record, and I was thinking you had been to this one. Well, that's good then. I didn't want to duplicate anything with you, so very good. All right, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started because we've got a lot to cover today. A lot of resources to show you, which is really what this class is about. It's more about giving you a sense of what's available out there and then giving you some of the, well, all of the links that I show you so that you can dig more deeply into these resources and see how they might work for you. As Carol was mentioning, I also do a class on read and record stories for grandchildren. So that is really a great fun and focused class on how do you get books to, how do you do stuff with books online? And if you haven't attended that, join me for that. It's another good add-on to this. So you should be able to see my screen right now. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It says using online resources. Welcome, Tanya. Glad to have you. With that smiling face. Thanks for coming on camera. And hi, Donna. And Tanya, have we met before? Oh,
We have not.
okay. I wasn't sure. I didn't think we met before, but I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming. So
I
here,
took your soup class, and it was excellent.
oh, Donna, thank you. Thank you. Were you there today?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if I missed you, I'm sorry, because I didn't recognize that your name was on the list today. All right. Well, more of those are coming, so stay tuned. My name is Deb Livingston. For those of you who don't know me, I am from York, Pennsylvania, and my background is in psychology and adult and organizational development. So I've spent my career training, managing, coaching leaders, and all that sort of stuff. And I'm happy to be here at Get Set Up because now I get to teach people who actually want to come to the classes. That wasn't always the case. So that's great fun. And I often get to talk about food, but I also like to talk about these kinds of fun things too, because I've learned a lot also since kids have been at home and trying to learn things from a distance. It's not been easy. So here in this class today, we're all getting better at being remote learners. We learn best, I think, when we are on camera, like you are and are not. It depends on the time, but we learn better that way, I think, and we can interact as a community better that way. So your participation on camera is great if you can do it, and ideally, if you're talking, unmuting yourself or exploring things in chat, that's really good too. There's nothing better than having good interaction and good dialogue about these things. There's nothing worse for an instructor than to be sitting in front of a computer full of black screens and muted microphones the whole time. We just don't know what to think. So helpful to have you with us here. And you can request a recording of this class after class. The email, which I think that Todd, who is our TA support today, put into the chat, is help@getsetup.io. So you would type an email to that address to request a recording or also to request any kind of technical help that you need. We're on live stream now. If you haven't noticed on our website, our new website, we've got a little TV thing there. And so folks can join us by live stream. And I want to just say hello to all of you that may be joining that way. And also invite you to join us on the website and register for classes, because it would be nice to see your face too, and to answer your questions and hear your experiences. This class is one that I've made up, and it's my materials and my connections, but there are no financial arrangements between myself and any of the websites that you see, or between Get Set Up and any of those websites. So that's our little disclaimer. Reminds me of all those NPR programs I used to listen to where they would give the disclaimers. So here we are, all about the agenda for today. We're going to talk for a few moments about tips for engaging children. Gosh, sometimes it can be hard enough when they're right in front of us, let alone when they are on a computer screen. And then we're going to look at how we can leverage this particular platform, Zoom, to engage with those kids. Now, we're not going to be learning about Zoom today. You're already at least part of the way there, just because you've shown up here and are attending classes on Zoom. How many of you have taken the class on how to manage and host and manage a Zoom meeting? Anybody take that? Yeah. So if you haven't taken that, go ahead and take it, because that will help you. Do you have a are you raising your hand, Mary, because you did? Okay, or do you have a question? You can unmute yourself.
No, I've taken some. I've taken some classes.
Okay, so very good to be able to use Zoom from the perspective of the person who's running things, like me in this class, because I share my screen, and you want to be able to do that. So if you haven't taken that class, it's a good thing to do, and then you can do all of these fun things I'm going to show you. Then I'm going to give a few suggestions to spark your creativity around staying in touch with your phone when you're not able to communicate each day. Now, lots of times when we started this class, it was for helping grandparents who might be supporting teachers. And so we're talking about how do grandparents stay in touch in between. But the same is true if you're tutoring, because you're going to have sessions, but they're not going to necessarily be every day. And so how are you going to keep continuity going? And so some ideas for that. And then some ideas for where you might go for lessons and practice. This is a lot. This is intense. There are a lot of resources for this. So we're just going to get a thumbnail sketch of those. I'll get to show you the site. There's way more activity or way more information on here than we can delve into, but you're going to get all of it. So I want to get started here with just a question for you. If you've done any of this before, or just in general, how do you keep kids engaged? What are some strategies that you've used that work? What keeps their attention?
I visit some web pages and YouTube Kids.
Okay, so that's a great idea. Those are great thoughts. So that really works. Okay. What else?
Well, I would think some interactive slides or interesting slides or graphics with music.
Oh, and so how do you use those then? What do they do with them?
Well, they would interact with them. It would be on the screen and it would illustrate a particular concept, but in a more fun way than just talking.
Okay, so they might sing to them too? Is that kind of?
They could, right.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, great ideas.
Also engaging with them in some kind of a dance with a learning experience.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, and keeping them moving is so important right now. Yeah. Shelley or Cheryl, are you on a phone and on another device as well by any chance? Or the person who just spoke?
No.
Okay. I was getting a lot of echoing there. That's why I was wondering. The person.
I think it's because Mary Ann and I are right next to each other.
Oh, that's right. That's probably it. Thank you. So here are some things about engaging children when we're talking online work. Manage your expectations. In the beginning of all of this, I listened to some teachers talk about it, and they were Montessori teachers, very excited about doing this kind of thing and had lots of good ideas. But in the reality of things, when they interface with their own families at a distance, their families were not necessarily all that gung-ho. You know, they didn't know how to work it into the day. They didn't want to bother, you know, so all those great ideas sort of fell on deaf ears for quite a while. And instead of giving up, what they did was learn to manage their own expectations and look for a road in. And the one teacher did say that the way that she finally found her way in after many attempts was just by sending photographs of the bird nest outside the window to her young granddaughter. And that started a conversation. And then we had a daily conversation about what was happening in the bird nest. And then the parents got involved, and then things snowballed from there. So don't worry if at first you don't succeed. Try again and experiment. I heard that from other teachers who came to this class who said, you know, I tried something I never would have thought would work with a student, and that student ended up being a star performer in an area that I never would have expected. So that was fabulous to hear. We've really got to think about how to make it extra fun and extra active for them. So I liked your idea, Eileen, about the music slides and about getting up and dancing. Who was that? You mentioned that, but I don't know your name. So who's calling in by phone that I can call you by name there?
Well, that was me that made mention of dancing with the slides. It's Mary.
Mary. Okay, Mary. Thank you. So that's the other way to keep things active. And I'll show you an example. I'll show you a resource to help with that. I think that when you are teaching children this way, it's important to give them as much responsibility as possible. Instead of having them be passive listeners to this, how can you make them active in the process? So I'll just throw that out to you. What's something that you could do that you did in face-to-face contact that would translate into computer work? How could you get children engaged and active? taking, teaching you something or giving them some choices.
Well, when I worked in a classroom, we had like a smart board, and I was able to upload games for
Oh.
them for informal assessments. So, like eat and break them into little teams,
Okay.
and each and one person who needed extra help in math would be the scorekeeper.
Mhm.
Great idea. Oh, that's a great idea. So they would go in, would they go into little groups or into little rooms and do that?
No, well, the way the classrooms were set up anyway, there were tables, like there was about 4 groups of 6.
Okay.
So we'd make it team 1, team 2, and like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
and then you would upload like their favorite game was like a Jeopardy game. They like that.
Okay.
You'd set it up on the smart board and see who knew what.
Fun. That's a great idea. Okay. Yeah. And so games are an important thing. And we have actually a couple of classes on Get Set Up where you can go into Kahoot and play games and find some other games. There's other game classes, and I don't know the ins and outs of those, but there may be some things there for children. So you could explore that as well. I think that also if you can have them teach you something, I have folks come to this class who say, but I'm going to have to learn so much about Zoom before I figure all this out and can do it effectively. Fact is, they love to teach you that, and they're really good at it. So if you feel a little bit shy about the technology or not as confident as you'd like to be in any of that, just ask them. And they are thrilled to have you ask them to show you something. And so you could do that. You can review their homework with them. Find out how you can stay up to date on the child's assignments and schedules if you're not a teacher, or if you are a tutor, or perhaps a grandparent. Who said that they learned Google Classroom a little bit? Was that who said that?
Yeah, I did. I had to help my granddaughter.
Okay, so Donna, did you know that in there through the school you can request to get summaries to see what they're doing each week? Assignments, what they turned in, what they didn't, what they're working on. Did you know that you could get that?
Okay.
Oh, I know there's it was set up so that I could see which assignments she didn't do. And then, I would get her to do them.
Yes, so that's a really nice thing. Whatever learning management system the school is using, I'm betting that most of them have the capability of sending an email out to a parent, guardian, or whomever is interested to find out a summary of what they're working on, so that when they're working on their homework, you can follow up on that. And you can do that to not only work with them on their homework, but also to see how you might find complementary lessons that you could provide if you're a tutor. So a good way is to just stay up to date with what the schools are providing. And then another way to make sure that kids do get engaged is to get them into a habit and to prepare and share a schedule with them. Are you going to be doing this every Wednesday at 4 o'clock, for example? And give them something to look forward to, something that they can set their clock by. As though they set clocks, right? But you know what I mean. They have a time to look forward to.
Yeah, Deb, I've had a group of children that they had to do their computer assignment. And at the time, I didn't know anything about a computer. But come on, Grandma Mary, I'll teach you how. And the rest of them got engaged, and it was really fun. They was trying to teach me the computer.
That's a beautiful story.
Yes. So that's why I'm excited about getting involved in the computer at this point.
Oh, good. Good. Cheryl, you said something. I can just take that. I'm sorry. Maybe not. There. I'm gonna mute there. All right. So I'm excited for you, Mary. That sounds like fun, and it sounds like the kids got really energized, and that's what we're looking for. So let's look at some fun ways to engage on Zoom. You've already mentioned a few of them, and I'm going to start at the very, very beginning. Like maybe you don't have an online relationship with them. So how can you make it inviting and interesting for them to come? And you have to get that conversation started somehow, right? And so taking that picture of the bird's nest is a good way. There you can take those photographs, send a photograph and ask for their opinion and just see what works. If first thing doesn't get a response, try a second thing. Once you get them online, maybe you can get this conversation going with a game called Would You Rather? Has anybody ever played Would You Rather? Oh, it's so much fun. And I watched it in action. You played it?
Yeah, she loves it.
She loves it. That's fantastic. And I watched a grandparent doing this with 2 grandchildren, and I found myself laughing out loud because of the way they were laughing. And you don't even have to come up with the questions. So basically, you can play this with one child or you can play it with several, and you can work out little signals for what choice they select. And the beauty of these would you rather questions is not just in the selecting an option, but in getting them to elaborate on why they picked it. That's where the real fun comes in. So would you rather questions for kids, there's over 200 of these here. And so you get an idea of what they are. Would you rather be a detective or a pilot? Would you rather have a full suit of armor or a horse? Would you rather sail a boat or ride in a hang glider? So these are imaginative kinds of questions. You can make them completely unrelated to one another, or depending upon what your strategy is for later learning, maybe you want to look for some questions on here that would give you more information about how they like to learn, what they like to learn, why, and so on. So I would definitely use these questions, not just as a fun opener, but as a way to get them to talk more and to tell you what's behind their answers and get to know them a little bit better. So I'm going to make sure that you get this 200 and some questions on this list, and then there's even more over here. Some are not as appropriate for young children, of course. So great game, would you rather, and you just get them to signal you or tell you why they would rather do one or the other. And the more the merrier. Now you mentioned, was it you, Donna, mentioned Jeopardy. Does it look like this? Does your Jeopardy game look something like this? So this
Yes, it does. And you can make up your own questions and answers and plug them in.
Yep, you can create your own Jeopardy game, or you can find one. So if you make one, you would be uploading it here, and other people would have access to it, just like you have access to the ones that are here. So there's a qualifier with this. You have to vet these because they may or may not be accurate. They may or may not be age appropriate. So remember, they're just anybody putting Jeopardy games up here. So some you can tell are put up by teachers and they're accurate and they're age appropriate and they're good, but some of them are not. So if we just think of now it's spring. Let's see if there's any good ones under spring. So here's a spring Jeopardy. If you just hover on it, you get an idea of what the questions are here. And this looks kind of fun. So we'll take a look at it. I'm going to click on this one just so we can go into the game itself. This is what the game board looks like. So you can select number of teams and then you can click start. And you're in charge, but you can always also have them go into this. They can open it up. They can be in charge too and share their screen. And you have now 3 teams down here and you can score keep here. So you play your best Alex Trebek or whoever is going to be the new host now. That's going to take some getting used to. And they say, well, Alex, I would like spring for 100. And so then they have to answer their question or answer in the form of a question. And when their time is up, you can set a timer. They can even have somebody be the timekeeper. You can reveal the response. And then you can add the points at the bottom. So you can make it as gamey as you want to and have prizes and do all sorts of fun things with this.
I love this. I'm gonna use it for upcoming Zoom baby shower.
Oh yeah, this will be great for that. Perfect. Perfect. Have you used it otherwise, Gail? Or is this the first time you've seen it?
Definitely no, I haven't. This is first time.
Wow, that was a pretty quick thought about how you were going to use it, I'd say. Very creative.
Well, I saw on that introductory page they mentioned the other games. I think bingo, and if you go back to that
Okay.
executive page, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's pretty good, using it for a baby shower. So somebody, you were mentioning singing and dancing. So I want to show you this site. I think this one is so much fun. Now think about this, because kids are online a lot. Most of the time what they're saying, research showing that 15 minutes at a stretch online is about the tolerance, and that's for intense kind of interaction. And so the more that you can jumble that up with some other things, the better, and the more you can get them up and moving, the better. This is particularly good for young children, and many of you said that you were working with young children. But now I want you to think about how you can interact with this. So you're going to be doing the same thing they're doing. Let's watch one of these. Be careful. I should have warned you this was going on. The Learning Station, great resource.
Online class number 6. Hi, everybody. It's Don from the Learning Station, and this is online class number 6. Welcome. It's always nice to see you here, and we are so happy to be here for you. First song we're going to do is actually going to make you a little bit smarter, but it's going to help the children learn how to begin a task and how to end a task, because we're going to move, and then we're going to freeze. And we're going to move, and we're going to freeze. And we're going to move, and we're going to freeze. What do you think the name of this song might be? You're already getting smarter. It's Move and Freeze. Let's do it.
Let's do it. We're going to do it. Practice. Come on. Come on, you guys. Move. You have to practice.
And freeze. Come on. Move. And freeze. Come on. Move. And freeze. Come on. Move. And freeze. Put your right hand on your left knee, your left hand on your right. Your knees move in and out, your hands stay tight.
So you're standing
now
up?
Keep on with your moving, but switch hands on your knees. Keep on moving.
Okay, you didn't want me to turn that off, did you? Now that could be a lot of fun, right? Getting kids out of their chair, and they're going to love watching you do this along with them. So there are a lot of these. I'm going to send you the link to the YouTube station that's going to, or at least to this video, and you can get to the YouTube channel. And there are just a myriad of different classes that do songs and dances and all sorts of interactive kinds of things. Very engaging, and ways to educate, keep them active and educate at the same time. So that's a good one. Has anybody ever used Learning Station for anything? No? So is Move and Freeze going to be running through your head for the rest of the day? For me, yeah. We're going to skip Learn a Language just because we seem to have some older, unless somebody is really interested in that. We seem to have younger children, but there are lots of language learning programs out there, and well, I can't skip it. I guess I need to show it. This is Duolingo. And so you can share your screen to do Duolingo, and without going into all of this, you create a profile, and you and the child can go in and do this together. You can start with a little placement test. And it takes you through levels and into these areas of phrases, travel, restaurant, family, same categories, but it gets increasingly more difficult with the levels. And it is very interactive. So it speaks, and they could be running this or you could be. So which one of these is a woman? And so you're selecting.
La mujer.
And then it pronounces it, and then you check. And it's very responsive that way. So they can do this on their own, but you can do it with them. So it's kind of a nice thing to do if you do want to learn a language along with a child. It's a very good, good grandparent activity, especially if you're into that. And then I think that getting another way to get them engaged on Zoom is to really find a topic that you both may be interested in that can be fun to talk about. And sometimes that's where we as as teachers or parents or grandparents are a little bit at a loss of, what is it that we talk about? What is it that we find? Well, TED Ed is a really great resource for this. Has anybody ever listened to a TED Talk?
Yes.
I have.
What do you like about the TED Talks?
They're always good.
Always good, high quality, very inspirational.
Very engaging.
So this is the Ed wing of TED Ed, and they do this for children.
Oh,
And
great.
they've got you can look for lessons they've already created. They have a whole curated series of some of those lessons that they call their Earth School. These are all lessons that are related to nature. And children can sign up to do 30 quests. That's one a day for 5 days for 4 weeks. They can sign up for it and they can get a certificate. And this has a series of lessons, like the first one is about the food we eat, the clothes we wear, and so on. And so what I'm going to do is show you the structure of these lessons. But week one, the nature of our stuff, the nature of society, the nature of nature, and the nature of change. So this is a wonderful thing even to think about doing over the summer months if you want to keep some kind of a structure and schedule going for children. But I want to point this out to you. These are all videos. And they're holding within them like a little mini class. And the videos are really only a few minutes long. You can see this one is less than 4 minutes. This one's 5 minutes and 7. There aren't too many that are over 10 minutes. So let's go look a little more closely under lessons here. Because remember what I said was those things in the Earth School were just lessons that have been curated here from these subjects. We can do a drop down here and look at all sorts of different subjects that we want to get into. We can filter by student level if we want to. And we can look at this in many different ways, including the newest of the videos. So to save time, I'm just going to pick one because this one looks kind of interesting. A brief history of the devil. And I want to show you how the classes all are structured. I find this really helpful, especially whether you're if you're a teacher, you'll be familiar kind of with this structure. If you're not a teacher and you're looking to have some way to structure the things that you do, this is a good thing to emulate, because what we're doing here is watching the video, and then we're going to have a little quiz, a little multiple choice quiz. Then we're going to show some resources available that will allow us to dig deeper on the subject if we want to. And then this little discuss lets them go in and have conversation with other kids online if you want to go that far. So it's kind of a nice structure for you if you want to build your own. And let's just take a look at the quality of the video, which you can expand. This might be for older kids. I didn't really sort for that.
Satan, the beast crunching sinners' bones in his subterranean lair. Lucifer, the fallen angel raging against the established order. Mephistopheles, the trickster striking deals with unsuspecting humans. These three divergent devils.
Okay, well, that's just too dark. I have to show you. I don't know what possessed me. It must have been the devil. So let's pick another one. Let's pick something from a younger.
What age is everybody's kids around?
Yeah, you were saying first and second grade, some of you. What about, who else? First grade, third grade, I heard.
Second, third.
Okay. So we're in primary school. And how about if we take a look at the incredible elephant trunk? That kind of fits that age.
As a breeze blows through the savannah, a snake-shaped tube stretches into the air and scans the horizon like a periscope. But it's not seeing, it's sniffing for odors like the scent of a watering hole or the musk of a dangerous predator. The trunk's owner is a young African elephant. At only 8 years old, she still has a lot to learn about her home. Fortunately, she's not alone. Elephants are extremely social creatures, with females living in tight-knit herds, led by a single matriarch. And every member of the group has one of the most versatile tools in the savannah to help them get by.
I know we'd all like to learn more about the elephant's trunk, but we'll stop. And I will say about these, they have been vetted. So you can feel confident that the information in these is good information, unlike the Jeopardy games that you have to be a little more cautious about. And so if we were to come back to this and then went into the multiple choice, you can see that they then have questions to ask. So if you tell them that up front, that there's going to be there's going to be a game, you don't even have to call it a quiz, but there's a game at the end to see what you remember. That might encourage them to also pay attention to that video. Huh. So what do you think about TED Ed?
Good.
Yeah, good resource, huh?
Doesn't cost anything.
It costs not a dime. That's right. Now, these things are just to give you some additional food for thought. This is my granddaughter, Eloise. And Eloise is dressed up as an aviator because she was doing a presentation on Zoom because she was part of a little book group that was through a organization called OutSchool. So her mother enrolled her in a couple of these little classes to keep her busy last summer. And they're in all kinds of topics and different age ranges, and then they can attend these classes and do things. She's taken a lot of art classes. You could see how they were working and how they were structured, and it may give you ideas to create your own, or it could be something that you could do as a gift if you're doing this as a grandparent. It could be a one class kind of gift. And you can have them do their little things to show you what they've done. She did a Zoom meeting with her book groupies and did her presentation about the first African-American aviator. So that's why she's dressed like that. Another thing that you can do is leverage the things you do every day into something that is a learning experience. And one of the things we do every day is eat and probably cook, especially cook right now because. And so one of the things we did with our grandchildren was we shared those, have you seen those meal kits that you can get? You get all of the ingredients delivered to your house and then the instructions to make the meal that's inside of them. The particular one that we got here, you could get specials. You can try them out for $2.99 a serving or something, or $4.95 a serving. And so we did that for a little while, and we had the children read the instructions to us and guide us through the recipe. So we did whatever they told us. Now, you don't need those meal kits. You can do your own. And can you think about how you might parlay food or cooking into some other kinds of lessons that you might have? How could you use food and cooking?
Math.
Math? Measurements, math?
Yes.
What else?
Reading.
Reading. Yep. Reading those recipes.
Mm-hmm. Following instructions.
Yes. Yes. I'm laughing because we had some of those things happen. Yep. What else? How about world cultures? How about cooking from other countries or sharing the history of your family or the history of something through food?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can design your own menu, and this in this case might involve parents getting ingredients. Perhaps you're not going to have meal kits, but with a little ingenuity, you could make that happen, and you could create the foundation for a nice, I don't know, a nice class about Mexico, for instance, nice series of lessons. So the sky's the limit, and when you're at home, you have to think about what can you make do with, and you have a kitchen and you have food, and what can you do with it? So that's another way to, I don't know, think outside the box, maybe. How many of you have ever taken a virtual field trip? Well, you have. Tell me about it, Tanya. What have you used? Oh, Tanya, there you are. Unmute yourself.
A train ride.
Oh.
Yeah, going through different parts of Europe, just, So yeah.
Who was that through, Tanya? Who had that?
I off the top of my head, I don't remember, but yeah, you can. It's online. Obviously.
It's online. You just Google virtual field. That is awesome. I don't know that I've seen that one. I like that idea. Anybody else? Well,
you Google virtual tours?
Well, you know what? I'm going to get you started. I'm going to send you a link that is going to show you 25 of them. So these are 25 amazing educational field trips. And so you've got, they run the gambit in terms of what they are about, what they're like. There's the aquarium, there are zoos, a farm. I don't know if the train's on here, volcanoes, Yellowstone, the Great Lakes. I think some of these are more like they're already recorded. Some of them are live, and the Smithsonian has some virtual experiences. All of this you would need to explore to see what's appropriate. And they are kind of all over the place, but lots of fun. There's Constitution Center, Ellis Island. Oh, there's the Louvre. I'm just scrolling down here because I wanted to see if the trains were on here. Mars is on here. So those are some, and this is not to say this is an exhaustive list. This is just one that the group that put this article together, this is weareteachers.com, put together for other teachers. So I share that with you. And then similarly, we have animal cams. Have you ever watched an animal cam? Yeah, Carol, what kind of animal cam have you watched?
I don't remember. And in fact, I think it might have been here in your class, actually.
Okay.
I have taken this before now that I'm watching you, but it was some time ago. But I think that's where I did.
Okay.
You introduced me to it here.
Okay. So we have them around here. We had an eagle that was nesting in a strange place one year. And so we had an eagle cam that we were watching. And then there are some at zoos that are just on all the time. Lots of time. Here's the Cincinnati Zoo's live cam on the hippos. Some duplication between that list and this one, the one we just looked at. So the Smithsonian has their panda cam. Oh, I hate when that happens. Kitten rescue. So sometimes, kittens are sleeping all day. It might not be the most exciting thing, but they can check in at different times. And the way to maybe make this more engaging for the children is to give them some questions. Give them a little scavenger hunt of things to look for when they're watching the animal cam.
The San Diego Zoo has a bunch of live cams.
Very good. Okay. So I don't know did we see that one on here? Maybe not. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, it is there. Okay.
So you can get into it from here. Let's go take a look. Here they all are. Oh, let's look at the koalas, see if they're doing anything. Oh. There they are. Oh. And they're sleeping too. Oh. So there's the little koala cam. So what do koala bears eat?
Do you want cheese and crackers?
That kind of thing. All right. Oh. So staying in touch in between can be super important too. And so you might be just riffing off the animal cam, and maybe you were watching something together, and then you said to them, now you go out and take pictures of, see if you can find the insects that the aardvarks eat. I don't know, but you can have them go out and do a scavenger hunt. And so there are scavenger hunt ideas here that I'll send you to keep children busy, both inside and out. So they can actually be in nature collecting some things that they can bring back to your next session. You can do things from inside the house around a particular lesson that you might have done, ABCs, just random things they might find in their house. Colors, this would be a color scavenger hunt that you might ask them to do. Counting, collecting things and counting them. So you get the idea. I won't go through all 22 of them, but this will certainly stimulate some more ideas for you. And then if they've got their own phone, this is where you can start to just send some photos back and forth. What I have learned is the grandkids just don't want to come to the computer very much. They don't really want to text. They don't like a whole lot of that, but they do pictures, and they'll send a photograph, and you can send a photograph about your daily life. Just you're out taking a walk and you see something, take a picture and send it. And then you could ask a question about it if you want to make it educational. And Snapchat is something that we do here on Get Set Up. There's a full class for that. I'm no Snapchat person, so I can't inform you about that. But Snapchat, the kids love, because you can make all those funny faces and things. You can make yourself into a bunny rabbit and just make it fun. So
FaceTime has a lot of that too.
What's that?
FaceTime has a lot of that also.
Yes, they have added that.
For hours.
So you do it now? You use that?
That's all I do with the kids, and we do games, and we try to play them on FaceTime. And over the phone, we've learned new ways to do it.
That's fun. That is really fun.
Just about every day.
It sounds like you have already you've got the conversation started, so you'd be able to move into a lot of these things without too much trouble. So lastly here, we're running into the last minutes of the class. I just want to go through briefly a few areas, things you might want to preview. This is probably one of the best resources to go and learn a little bit more about online things that kids use, get into, can learn from. You see that there's a tab for parents, and there's also one for educators. You can go in either one or both of them. For parents, what's nice is that you can see reviews on movies, TV, best streaming picks. It kind of gives you a sense of what's appropriate for children. Same thing with books and apps and games. And then what I really like is this, what parents need to know, or what older people need to know, I guess we should say. So, Ultimate Guide to Minecraft and Google Classroom and Fortnite and all these things that they know so well that we don't know. And you can go into any of these and learn a little bit more about what they are. So answers frequently asked questions and get you in on the ground floor for deciding then, do you want to pursue this any further? So I love Common Sense Media. For educators, if you're interested in understanding a little bit more about what educators do with teaching online, there's EdTech reviews. You can find the reviews here, but then you can also find some information on teaching with tech. There's some EdTech videos that are instructional, some teaching strategies that might be helpful, and then some actual teacher-created lessons you can explore, just to give you some ideas in case you want to kind of take up those ideas and work with them. There's a good website here for teaching preschool. I didn't hear anybody talk about that. And then if you haven't seen, has anyone ever seen Khan Academy? If you haven't seen Khan Academy, did somebody say yes?
Yes, I use that.
How do you use it, Gail?
For varieties, and it's mostly math.
Math. Okay, so you can see that if you click on courses, I can't say enough about this for its completeness, professionalism, thoroughness. It can take a child very deeply into a subject matter, even more so than what they learn in school. So if you're looking particularly for tutoring, you can explore this and help them get engaged in a deeper dive into an area that they might like or might need help in. And
would you mind clicking on the reading for up to first grade, reading and language arts? Just curious, yeah.
So it looks like this one you might want to go into the mobile app. There is a Khan Academy and a Khan Academy Kids. And so let's just watch this. See, this is what they get.
Growing up is exciting. There are so many firsts to discover.
Oh, sorry.
Your first word, your first book, your first day of school. And with each new thing you learn, you grow. At Khan Academy, we embrace and celebrate learning at all ages. We created Khan Academy Kids to spark the joy of learning in kids ages 2 through 7. Through thousands of activities, books, and videos, kids can read, play, learn, and grow. Narrator Cody Bear and her friends guide kids through the app, encouraging creativity, curiosity,
So it's definitely
and
an
kindness.
app as opposed to Khan
Because we
Academy,
believe
which
that
we've done
everyone
on the
should have
website.
access to learning, Khan Academy Kids is completely free. No ads, no subscriptions. Khan Academy Kids, now celebrating first words through first grade, available in the App Store, Google Play, and Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. These are just beautiful. They're so well done. It's a really great resource, and that it's free is just a marvelous thing. So Khan Academy, and it's fairly easy to move through, but it is really robust. So you can even have a course challenge and figure out where you need to be. But all of these are modules, and each module has many, many questions, mastery points you can see over here. So yeah, it's pretty thorough. Checking my time here. YouTube videos and safety. So there are a lot of YouTube videos out there. I'm giving you this article, a link to this article that will give you some good YouTube channels that are educational channels. And
Dad,
yeah.
there is a YouTube Kids too.
Can you say that again?
There is a YouTube Kids.
Oh, a YouTube Kids. Yes. Yes, there is a YouTube Kids. So you can type in YouTube Kids and find that. And some of these are probably on YouTube Kids. So I'm going to go into alphabet blocks here.
Alpha Blocks Homeschool. Learn the alphabet.
So I'm going to pause this right here and just point out to you that there are, let's see, let me go into one here. You can see here that we have these other things that are listed along the side, and here we have a link to try YouTube Kids. It looks like comments are turned off here, so this is a very good site. But sometimes what will happen is you will have videos that have comments or other things on the sidebar that aren't turned off. So what you can do is you can copy the website. And I think I'll try to find one of those. Let's see. Let me go back to that. These are pretty young young ones. Okay, let's go into this one. Well, here's TED Ed. Let's go back to this. So you see all these, there's weird stuff. Multiple flat earthers are typing. We don't need kids to read this kind of stuff. These are just comments that strange people come in and make comments. So we want to copy this link up here. I'm going to do an edit and copy. And then I want to show you this. I'll send you the link to the website here to Video Link. Video Link is a place where you can copy and paste a YouTube video address in, generate a link, and send it to your child or now let me just see. I want to show it. That's why. So here it is.
14 Greenlands could fit in
This is the, that was the video.
Africa. But you
That's
wouldn't
the
guess it
video
from
I
most
selected,
maps of
but
the
notice
world.
there's nothing
The
else
fact
on the
is,
screen except
every
that
world
video.
map humans have ever made is wrong.
So all you get is the video. None of those comments, those other ads. So it's a good way to keep children safe that way and not see the other things that are on there. Quizlet flashcards are simply that. They're a way to get started with giving flashcards that will help students, help children to practice certain things. You can make up your own flashcards. Here's one on food. You can try it free. I'm getting a lot of ads up here now, so I'm not sure. Here's my library. So, you know, this one is asking to select the food things. Click on them. They're not usually that way. They're not usually with circles. They usually have flips out. You flip them over. But you can create your own, and there's many in here, just like with Jeopardy. People have already created flashcards. You can have assignments that are for writing and for spelling and for testing around the same content that you put the flashcards in for. So I know I don't have much time left to show you the details on that, but it is, if you get in there and click around, you're not going to hurt anything, and you'll learn a little bit more about how to do it and what it provides you with in terms of options. So that kind of brings us to the end of our class. We covered a lot of territory, and I know that it was fast, but it was really intended to show you what's possible and give you an idea of some resources that are out there. And with the links that I send you, you can go and spend time to your heart's content exploring them. So what do you think? Are you ready to experiment?
Yeah.
Yeah? Find some things that you like?
Oh, I can't wait.
That's exciting. I'm glad to hear that. Come back and let me know how it goes. Okay. What questions do you have? Anything further? I want to really thank you for coming to this class. We do have the read, record stories and the schedule and host a Zoom meeting. Those are two really good ones to take. And my next classes are making great dinners in 30 minutes or less and soups from scratch. So now for something completely different, right? I'll send you this email after class, and you're going to get some suggestions for another class. Have the opportunity to give me some feedback about this, as well as suggest other classes. You can also view the schedule from here. So spread the word about Get Set Up. We do connect with a lot of community organizations like the YMCA, senior living facilities, assisted care. We would love to hook up more with them and get groups of people engaged, because that's how we grow our community. And here on the schedule, you can come in and see the things that you might like. Qigong for beginners and line dancing is happening today if you want to try something really different.
Yeah, I want line dance, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so show up for line dancing. I think they have a good time. And then when you're in here to sign up for a class, note that you can click here and invite a friend. And now think about this. You might live in one state and have a friend that lives in another state and you don't get to see them very often. Invite them to a fun class. And that, again, is a way to grow our community. So I thank you for doing that. We're in this together and we want it to stay around for a long time. So your help needed. And that is all for today. Let me stop my share.
Thank you.
Great.
You are very welcome.
Thank you very much, Deb.
Have a great evening, everyone, and come back.
Good,
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm
Great
very
suggestion.
concerned. Thank you.
Great. You're welcome.
Bye, Deb. Have a nice day.
Bye. Thank you, Todd. Good to see you again, Mary. I do remember when you were getting started with all of this. You've come a long way, haven't you? It's nice.
Still learning and enjoying as I learn.
That's good. Yep, we all are still learning. So,
all right.
Yep, take care.
Thank you. You and have a wonderful Easter.
Thank you. Oh, you too. That is coming up quickly, isn't it?
Yes.
And I am going to send those resources. I'm just looking at the chat.
Okay.
All right, take care.